Hello, hello. I'm hoping everything's working this time. But as always, let me know if I'm too quiet or if the music's too loud, or if you can't hear the music at all, as is wont to happen. So today I've decided specifically I want to work on this little face thing that she has on both her shoulder and her belt. Here's the whole thing. And it's going to be kind of exciting because I don't really have a front view at any point for this guy. I only have this. This is as much as I get of the front, and then otherwise it's just side views. So that's going to be kind of fun, but it's been bugging me, that I can't really figure out where this is going to, the sash ends until I get that little face in there. And I could just do a little block out shape, but I kind of just wanted to do it. It sounded like a nice little piece to work on. It's kind of nice to have one thing like fully finished. I mean, maybe not like 100% perfect, but at least the proportions completely put in, because then you can start to measure other things against that one piece, like you do with the head when you're drawing. But I'm not drawing, so I can do what I want. I can make my own rules. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I just got to get my my tablet. I've noticed my tablet pen tip is getting like really worn down, which I'm sure is a common problem. I mean, it comes with 3 other extras, but I go through them so fast. I think I must be pushing down way too hard on this thing. And I know you can change the sensitivity, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. I still wear them out really, really fast. It doesn't seem to be damaging the tablet though, so I guess I can keep doing it. I don't know. So I guess I'll start just working on it from the side, and then see how far that gets me. And if I start messing up the edges, I'm not too worried about it, because I can always just go back in Maya and like just take the face that I've made and attach it to something that works better. Though I am thinking I probably would like to extrude it before I subdivide. Just it's inverted, but that's okay because I can just flip it here. All right. Also, the farm equipment seems to be going again outside, so I apologize if it's very noisy. I'm hoping my mic won't pick it up, but it is really loud here right now. So I was just killing like 5 minutes before the stream started, 'cause it wasn't enough time to go and do anything else. So I was doing the New York Times. They have like these little mini puzzles, like a mini crossword, mini puzzles that you can do for free. And one of them is connections, where you have like four groups of 4 words, and you have to figure out which 4 go with each other. The reason I'm telling you guys this is, I don't know if Heather's here, she might not be, but one of the categories was different types of bears, which was pretty, it was fitting. It was appropriate for what I was about to be doing. So if she gets here, I'll have to tell her, or maybe not, I don't want to spoil it for her. Maybe she does them. Probably not. I assume it's mostly just Americans who do New York Times mini puzzles. You can't do the crossword unless you have a subscription, and I'm too cheap, well, too broke to have a subscription, so I can't do the crossword. But my favorite is the connections, because I'm not always good with words, but I am good with categories. I don't have enough geometry. Let's subdivide. This is going to be a weird one. It's going to look like I'm going to get to the end and it's going to look perfect from the side. I'm going to look at it from the front and it's going to look like this. Oh, good morning. Or, well, technically it's noon for me now, but good day. How are you doing? Got like these really tall nostrils that, again, I don't really have the geometry for, so I guess I won't do that yet. Let's see, what do they do for the eyes? I can't see them at all. That's awesome. I'm gonna just leave them as maybe indentations, maybe a bit of like just a bump. I'm not gonna do a separate geometry or anything. See how that looks, because this is kind of like it's like a mask almost. Like I could conceivably see her like popping it off her shoulder and putting it on her face. I don't think it would actually fit, but something like that. So I don't want full eyes. I'm working while you're listening. Nice. What are you working on? Maybe I shouldn't talk to you. Maybe I should let you work. But I am curious. Architect writing a report about a building we were renovating. Work. Oh, that's cool though. I really admire architects. I don't know how you guys do that stuff. Yeah, I'm used to when people say, you know, they're working while listening. That means they're working on a 3D modeling project, voluntary 3D modeling project, or maybe for school, since I was when I was TAing, that's what it normally was. They were working on their coursework. Did that this morning before your family woke up, taking the Abe Leal class right now. That's awesome. I love Abe Leal. He's great. I haven't taken any of his courses, but if I were to go do like one of those courses, he would definitely be one of my top picks. I like how I notice a trend like his free stuff. He always explains things in a way where he presents it like why you're doing this. He always, like, here's the thing you're doing, here's the problems you're going to encounter, here's how to fix them. It's never like, you should do it this exact way and I won't tell you why. He always lets you know why you should do something, which I think is awesome. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna struggle with this back face the entire time, aren't I? I wonder if turning on back face mask would fix that. I'll try it and see what it does. Sometimes with stuff like this, it just makes my life even harder. But yeah, oh wait, it didn't actually turn on. No, that seems to be working. Okay, great. Sometimes it just decides that the entire mesh is the back face, and then you can't work on it at all. Interesting. Can you use backface mask on smooth? Yeah, you can. Okay, would that work? It's funny how I've never tried this. Oh, it does work. That's awesome. That's really helpful. I'm going to do this now, before I get too deep into it. So this inside will, of course, never ever be seen, but when I'm doing the retopology, it's just a lot easier to make, if I'm using this mesh as a live mesh and then quad drawing, it's going to be a lot easier to just make a simple low poly inside with this clean interior instead of that weird mess that I had from the outside. And also this means, what else does it mean? Oh, there's just going to be less difficulty with the mesh going through it inside itself while I'm working. Kind of helps prevent that. I think the lips are too high up. He's got a very low face, like just well, it's a long chin too, but it all kind of is pulled down. Let's see that front view again too. It's definitely long and thin, not like a big bruiser nose sort of thing. And actually, did I notice that earlier? Did I plan? Yeah, I guess, yeah. That's just this curve. Okay. That's fine. But it does have a hard corner on each side, which I couldn't tell from the side. Alright, let's subdivide. I'm going to not worry about this line, how it kind of inflates, like kind of like a piping. I don't know if it's called piping when it's metal, but it's the same idea. I'm going to do that as a separate subtool, so once I finish making this base one, I'll extract, I'll like mask, so carefully mask it out, and then extract it into a separate mesh, and then I can have a really sharp, clean edge without a lot of work, and I won't have to be constantly pushing and pulling this to all fit together. I think that will be a lot easier. Also notice it's kind of more rounded. So I have it pretty curved, but it actually looks very flat from this angle, which doesn't really make sense from this side. It's not quite consistent, so I'm going to have to use some artistic liberty, I think. I'm going to want it to also fit around her shoulder. Her shoulder is pretty thin, so that's a good reason to make it a pretty steep angle. But if I want it to look like that in the final, I mean, I could make two. I can make two different ones. I could just take this one, copy it, and adjust it a little bit. But that shape right now, actually, come to think of it, that's not going to fit on the side of her waist either. So I'm going to need to make it flatter. That's annoying. I wish I'd thought of that earlier. I'll go back down. That's not quite going to work either. There's actually less material from this side than this side. I don't have any other references of that, right? No. I'm probably overthinking it. I guess I'll just do something in the middle. there's a way to crop it. I just learned this the other day. I have it written down. Oh, but not here. Oh dear. Hold on. There we go. You just hold C while selecting it. You gotta start, hold C, no wait, yeah, okay. Select the one you want to crop, hold C, and then use a little rectangle, selecting rectangle. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. Now I can look at both at once, and I won't purely make one of them. Ah, that's really different. Okay, darn, I thought this was going to be the easy one. No, it's still not that hard. It's just a little bit annoying. Wowza. It's hard to make subtle shapes when it's this low poly. Yeah, these two are actually, the more I look at it, the more I realize how different these are. This is a little irritating. So we've got like this, here the shape of the, I guess you could call it a bezel, I don't really know. Piping, whatever. It follows, it's like the same width throughout. You know, it gets a little bit thicker on the corners, but overall it's pretty much the same. And here it actually curves at a different angle on the outside than on the inside. Just have a lot of slight differences like that. The lips are higher up on this one than they are on this one. And of course the main problem I'm having, which is that this one is very curved and this one is very flat. Something like this wouldn't look anything like that from the side. Maybe it's not, no, it is perfectly from the side, because you can see the lips and the nose are completely side on. Well, so what are we going to do about it? There's not really any halfway in between for things like this. It would just look lazy. I gotta decide which one I want to follow. I would usually rather follow the one in the turnaround, because the main shot, like the posed shot, I should say, like if this were in production, they wouldn't expect me to be working from the posed shot. The point of the posed shot is to give a feel of the character, not the actual, like, referencing, I think. So maybe I'll go from the side and just hope that when it comes to actually posing her, it's not going to look too weird. Because the only trouble with this one is that's not going to fit around her waist the way it's shaped right now. Unless it were ridiculously wide, like in a way that doesn't make sense for a face, unless it were something like that, it's not going to fit around her side. Quite a pickle. Quite a pickle. Well, if it were easy, we wouldn't do it. What if I actually put it on her now? Oh, that's going to kill my symmetry though. Okay, I'm just going to test this and I gotta remember to put it back. Oh my gosh, which button snaps it? Snaps the rotation. That J is Maya. Is it shift? There we go. I hate that. I'm always doing that. And whatever it is in ZBrush, shift. No, that's not true. I don't know. Anyway, I'm always getting it mixed up. Yeah, so that, it just wouldn't really fit on the way she's got it. It would start clipping through her pretty bad. So that's a good reason to make it flat. Maybe I'll make it yeah, I'll make it flat. Alright. Flatter than this. When I make it flat, it gets wider, of course, and I don't want it to be that wide either, because that's going to look really silly. So I'm going to have to bring those kind of like wings into... I almost wonder if it would be easier to start over. No, it might be easier to start over, but just delete that with ZModeler. I'm not sure it'll let me do that when when I have subdivisions, but let's see. No, it won't. That's fair. That makes sense. That would actually be kind of crazy if it did let me do that. Okay, I won't then. Find it and call it a day. Yeah. Just gotta accept it. Ew, this looks really gross. I'm gonna go down to subdivision level and delete that, because that's looking weird. I'm not too worried if the edges look weird, because those will be covered. I want them to be more or less straight, but they don't need to be like 100% perfect. If I want to be really smart, I won't put this on her. Like, I'll just leave it in the front until after I've retopologized it, because that way I can use the symmetry for both sides of it. But I'm not sure if it's not even like a full face. I'm not sure that the retopology will be enough work that it's worth holding it out and remembering to do it like that. If I were doing a whole bunch of things, it would definitely be worth it, but since it's just two of them, I don't know. Oh. What did I do to my brush? Why does it look like that? I've somehow turned the subtool into the brush. I'm gonna reset my brushes because I don't know what I did. Probably should have saved first. There we go. That's what it should look like. That was weird. Oh, wait, I turned off backface masking. Okay, turn that back on. There we go. can't decide with eyes. There's no, I don't have any input on the brow or the eyes at all, and I guess I don't, and because they're covered, so they're going to be covered, mine are going to be covered too, eventually, by the sashes. So I guess I don't need to worry about it too much. I don't want it to look like it does right now, or he looks kind of sad. He looks worried. I think probably that's not the sort of expression the goddess of poison and blindness would have on a little trinket sort of thing. I think it would be more like serious, imposing. So at least, you know, have a hint of it, so if ever you see, like, maybe you can, the way the sash is positioned right now, we can't see under it in the concept, but if you looked at it from the right angle in the 3D model, you would definitely be able to see bits of, like, the eye socket at least. So I do want to be, I want to have something under there that you can look at, but I have to completely make it up myself. With something as detailed as this one, I personally, if I were the concept artist, I would have drawn it out. I mean, I don't know, because I'm not a concept artist. As a 3D modeler, I would like it if the concept artist would also draw something like that out, like they have the potion. Especially since it's a repeat prop. Just an idea. I can't be too miffed at this concept artist because their work is so good, but that is something I always appreciate. Something else I appreciate that it's not going to come up in this one because all the material is pretty clear. Sometimes the way it's colored, it's not necessarily clear what it's made out of, especially with things like metal, where actually, it might come up in this one, so I don't know if this is supposed to be like gold or copper or bronze. I'm guessing like a bronze. Oh. Wait. Oh, it just went behind. But I don't know. And I've seen some concept artists actually just like they'll put notes in there, like they'll either list the materials or they'll actually like have a little arrow pointing to one, and then they'll have a photo of like that material type, so that you have an actual built-in reference, which is really handy if it's been unclear, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like if you are working within a certain style guide, they could actually find a reference, like say of copper drawn in that style, and then when you're doing the texturing in the 3D, you can look to that copper as the main reference, and that's super duper handy. But that depends on the style as well. Like if it's just straight realism, you could just find a photo of copper. that's not going to be too difficult. But at least just saying the materials. I mean, like, so for me, for this one, yeah, I'm a little unclear on what kind of metal that is. I'm a little unclear on what this fabric is. I know it's fabric, of course, and it looks kind of thin, but it could also be thick. I'm actually a little unclear on that. So saying, like, if they specified, like, a thick wool or something, that can be handy for figuring out how to sculpt and texture it. My impression is that this top layer is a little bit thicker, and then this under guy is thinner, which just makes sense for clothing, and then this purple thing on top is also thinner. This is kind of like a diaphanous material, maybe. I mean, I'm making that up. I can't actually see through it at all, but I just get the feeling it should be. I don't know. I'd like it to be. And since there isn't a ton of clarity in the concept, I get the artistic liberty to decide. So I guess that should be a lesson to concept artists. If they want something to be one particular way, they need to be really clear about it. It's amazing how easy it is to misinterpret, though. Like, sometimes something that I think is painfully clear from a concept, and then I'll actually ask the concept artist, and they'll say, oh no, this is something completely different. I'm like, wow. People's brains work so differently, and it's, you know, it's whatever memory library of reference you have is going to have a lot of influence over what you see in a concept. Oh, flattened the brow way too much. It's got kind of a rounded forehead. I still don't love that. I want to go back and make it skinnier. Definitely tapers from the top to the bottom, but I can't tell how much. It's difficult with it being sideways like that. But I can tell something's wrong. The proportions aren't quite right. Now, for one thing, it's flatter on top. Another direction, I've made it too rounded and I'm gonna look at those, like theater mask. It's a lot like a theater mask. Oh my gosh, I can't even type theater. It's that same general shape. See if I can find one I like, though. No, that's actually not helpful at all. I won't be using that as a reference. It doesn't add anything to what I've already got. Yeah, again, it's a lot more curved on this one, even from a completely different angle. This one also has more curves than this one does. It's does make things difficult. But yeah, I'm mostly following this one now. I'm just looking at this for a little bit of profile information on the face. I'm going to ignore this stuff and stick to this one on the outside. Lips look different in each view. You like the larger bottom lip in the front better than the side. Yeah, they definitely look different. They're higher up on this one, and they've got a different curve to them too. You like them better on the front one. Yeah, it's like the bottom lip is bigger, I think. It's thicker, and then in this one they're kind of the same size to each other. And this one top one's thinner, the bottom one's bigger, and the whole thing is moved up in the face. It's actually quite a different face from this side. The more we look at it, the more we see like all these pretty big differences. It gives it like overall completely different impression on this one. Yeah, it's interesting. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, but speaking of the lips, I would kind of like to do them, so I'm going to subdivide it again and start trying to get in there. So it's not a full face. I'm not worried about doing like an actual mouth bag or anything, which is usually what makes the lips easier. Well, no, that's not good. Once you get actual hole in there, it's a lot easier to make like the dimples at the ends of the lip. Since I don't have that, I mean it's okay because it's not supposed to look like a real face. It's supposed to look like a metal mask. So I will get by, but it does make it a little bit trickier. It's kind of fun too. It's like making art of art, like this metal mask that someone made, and someone I mean it doesn't actually exist, but the idea that if this were real, and maybe they referenced a real mask, someone made that metal mask, and then someone made a 2D drawing of that metal mask, and now someone's making a 3D model of that 2D drawing of that metal mask. It's like art imitates life, imitates art. Wait, I might have gotten that wrong. Whatever. Art imitates life. I think that's the order it should be in. I don't know, I can't talk and sculpt. I don't know why they hired me. I shouldn't be doing this. I think I put the lips too low down too. I think it might actually be a thicker lip than that. It's hard to tell where it ends. You know, does it actually end right at where the shadow starts, or does it end before then? I mean, my brain's telling me it's right at where the shadow ends. That's a pretty thick lip. It's also very pointed. But, I mean, it is stylized, so maybe it does that. I'll give it a go, see how it looks in 3D. It looks nice in the drawing. It's like a really pouty kind of expression. Top lip overhangs the bottom lip a little bit at the what do you call that? The point where the two lips intersect. I called it a dimple, but that's not the right word. That's something else. I'm not sure about that. Something still looks off. Maybe it's too wide still. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those things where it's going to look weird and keep looking weird right up till the very end, and then I'll say, oh, this looks good now. Now that's interesting. Does backface masking work with masking? Oh yeah, it does, okay. I was just doing it wrong for some reason, somehow. Alright, now we've got a pointy, adequately Roman nose. I suppose this is Greek, not Roman, but we'll accept it. I love the swirl in the nose. That's awesome. The spiral on the nostrils. Very, very fun. What is happening? Why is my move tool not working? Is that because of backface masking? Yes. See, this is what I mean with it. Sometimes it just does weird things. Okay, that looks really goofy. I don't know about that. Is the angle too steep on the nose, maybe? That might help. Maybe I'll just leave them as regular nostrils until I actually have the geometry for that. Might be better. Feel less goofy. Alright, let's get the brow back in there too. Oh man. We'll get there. Oh, I think I'm putting the eyes too high up, actually. That's the problem. There we go. That's better. Kind of. Still looks goofy. Why do you look so goofy? Nah, I think the lip's too big. Because now that I've got it in and it's casting a shadow, I can see it's casting more than I want. starting to look kind of like handsome Squidward. Wait, hold on, let's do a side by side. Guess the chin's different. I'm safe for now. No, alright, it's not as bad as I thought. It's still different for now, but I gotta watch out. I think I've made the nose too hooked. Ease it on back. Stay away. You recommend classes you just... Oh yeah, well actually, I just finished on Tuesday. I'm all done now. So that was the final course that they offer, like the 3D modeling. I don't know if they did it, I don't know how long it's been since you took it, if they did it the same way then too, but they have like 3 classes. There's like the 3 levels. I don't know. Anyway, I finished the 3rd level, so I'm like done. There's no more courses I can take from CG Spectrum unless I want to go into a different like field. I think they are actually just starting to offer like one-off short classes where you can look at a specific topic. Like I think they're going to make one that's about how to use Blender, for example. So that's cool. But I'm unless I want to take one of those, I'm done. Done with CG Spectrum. Yeah, you took the intro 3-month. Son said he was working on revamped sessions. Probably. There are revamped sessions, so I assume that's what he's talking about. So they've replaced like I hope I can talk about this. I'm not going to go into specifics, so I assume it's fine. They've replaced like if you did like the penguin, they've done something in place of that now. I think the penguin is the intro, so that would have been the one you did. But yeah, they replaced most of the courses. The final one is still pretty much the same, I believe, but they're like slowly working on updating them all, and it must be tough because like by the time they've finished updating all of them, the industry standard has already changed, and they'll need to update them again. Sure. Yes, you did the penguin. Yeah. I've heard mentors say, like, thank God they replaced the penguin. They were getting so tired of seeing penguins. They go to sleep at night and they see penguins. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, so I never, it was the penguin when I would have been taking that class, but I skipped that one because I had already some previous 3D knowledge just by taking some independent classes and also a little bit from college. So I skipped the first one. So even though the penguin is from my time, I didn't actually do it. So I avoided the penguin. The infamous penguin. I gotta decide what I'm gonna do for these eyes, because this looks really kind of creepy. I think I'm just going to make like a little... do something like that, like it's been hammered on the other side. But maybe not right there, because that also looks uncanny. Thanks for chat. You're logging off now. Oh yeah, you enjoy your day and weekend too. Thanks for coming. I know something's still wrong with these proportions. I feel like I almost need to draw it. Because there's clearly something I'm not seeing here. Sure, if that'll work. We got... Maybe it would be easier on the pen. I... somewhere like there. There's the eyes. And then let's get a different color for the outline. Something like that. Move this, that. What do we got here? Maybe it just have too much face, or like too much head, not proportionally to the face. Maybe it's still too much forehead. I swear I keep getting rid of forehead, but not enough. Yeah, I think that's it. Just too much head. I don't know. Today's not a good sculpting day, I don't think. It just feels wrong. I'll just leave that. I'll leave that back there, a little surprise for me later. I want you on top. Way up there. Come on. Alright. I am going to be done for today. I'm going to come back and look at this later, and I'm going to say, oh, I can clearly see what's wrong. And I'll be so happy because I won't have to be confused anymore. But I'm going to go for now, and I'll be back on Monday, so enjoy your weekend. Do something not on the computer for once in my life and your life. And yeah, have fun. Bye-bye.